Hello everyone and welcome into round 8 of the 2021 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. It is the MX Simulator Grand Prix of Belgium here at the Lommel circuit. Great racetrack, very fast flowy sand track, very deep sand track as well. Most people know about the Lommel circuit if you're familiar with motocross racing, but a treacherous circuit. A lot of changes have come to this track in the last decade or so, so it's almost an entirely different circuit than what you saw maybe even 5 years ago at this point, with the way that the track flows and everything. And we're going to show you what it looks like here with an onboard lap courtesy of atom.com as Adam Holmes shows us around. It's a long left-hand first turn into this kind of flat section, I guess, down the back straightaway here. Another left-hand 90-degree corner, and then this takes you pretty much all the way. Actually, you have to go through this little switchback, but then it takes you all the way down into the far end of the circuit. Go left, go right, and get on the gas, and it just kind of is going to flow its way out through the back here. Go right down past the mechanics area. Carries some speed and momentum through these rollers. You got to try to get on top of them. Little left hand, and then this is pretty much just an S turn all the way out to the far back of the track. You go a little right, little bit left, and then this big floater single jump. You're going to see Holm kind of launch off it, land on about the third bump here, and then carry speed over this race tech table. And this is just all the way to the far end of the circuit. Big bull berm here. Used to be kind of a long left-hand sweeper that went around the trees back here, but now just U-turns and kind of goes back into the center of the circuit. Long little floater single through the bumps. Key to these deep sand tracks is staying light, trying not to get too bogged down in the sand, obviously. So there's a lot of hopping from bump to bump, jump to jump, if you will. So Holm going to take us through the little middle section of the track. This actually used to kind of be ran backwards through here a few years back, and now it kind of goes all the way out to the back here again. Again, this little tree section here is kind of like an island, and the track has always gone around the backside of these through some of the trees here in the back, and then leads you back into the center of the racetrack here. But you can see Holm just on the gas. He's going to land out to flat here and then turn to the right, and then this little hump is going to take him into a little tunnel jump here and then down to the race tech finish line. And you got a couple more corners still to go, but land hard, get on the brakes, make this left-hand turn, carry some more speed down this straightaway over this little riser, turn back to the right, and back onto the start straight. And that is a lap here tonight at Lommel. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Happy to be back broadcasting. This is actually going to be a recast of the Belgian Grand Prix. It actually happened 2 weeks ago, so we are not going to be covering the live action of it, obviously. This is a replayed broadcast, so we're going to be watching 4 demos. The MX2 race 1 is coming up first. We'll get to that in just a moment. We'll talk about the qualifying times, but we'll just go through this kind of like a normal race night, but it is not actually live here right now, and it won't be live later on tonight when we actually get into doing the Swedish Grand Prix a little bit later. Actually, I'll talk about that right now. Broadcast schedule coming up on screen. Got the MXSGP of Belgium going right now. We just got started here at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. And a little bit later on tonight, it might actually end up being 7 p.m. Pacific, or about 7:20 p.m. Pacific to be exact, later tonight when we do the Swedish Grand Prix. Keep you guys updated a little bit later on what happens there. But at least for right now, the plan is Sweden is going to go off in about 3.5 hours from now. We're going to go basically 2.5 hours right now with broadcast coverage of the Belgian Grand Prix. And then tomorrow, same time, same place for the recast of the Budds Creek National before we get back onto live stream duties with the MXS Ironman National coming tomorrow night. So hopefully any of you guys tuning in right now actually did race this race a few weeks back and can offer some insights into what exactly happened when you were racing it then. Let's talk about the qualifying times, though, before we get into the race tonight. Tyron Tomic was fastest at Lommel at a 152 dead. Braden Carter right on his heels there, only 6/100ths of a second back. Tyler Lang, Adam Holm, and Alexis Leclerc all in the mix as well, but you can see top 4 separated by just 0.7 of a second, and then about 1.5 seconds back to Leclerc there in 5th. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Leclerc could right the ship and figure things out as the race develops. Logan Leitzel fastest in the MX2 division, a 156.359 from Payson Johnson, Luke Sullivan, Seth Shirley, and Daniel Irvine. Before we get started tonight, I did want to actually touch on one thing real quick. We'll go to our intermission screen here and talk about this. So this is a cause that was started by MX Sports and Road to Recovery called Racers for Waverly. If you guys are familiar with the Loretta Lynn's ranch area, it's in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, but just north of it is Waverly, Tennessee, and unfortunately that area and the ranch itself have been completely devastated by a massive flood that went through there. The entire Loretta Lynn's track is completely underwater right now, but that is the least of the worries there. There are unfortunately several confirmed fatalities and a lot of damage. So if you guys would like to, it'd be great if you just go here, racerxonline.com. We have a link set up where you can go to Road to Recovery and help donate to reach this $500,000 goal. We're going to try to get involved as much as possible. So any donations that are done on the broadcast over the next 2 days, including today, the recast of the Belgian Grand Prix right now, the recast of the Swedish Grand Prix later, and then the recast of the Budds Creek National tomorrow and the Ironman National live tomorrow night. Any donations that come in during this broadcast, we will also be sending them to Racers for Waverly to help out with this fund. Just wanted to get you guys involved if you could there. Obviously, the towns have been devastated. Unfortunately, Loretta Lynn's longtime ranch hand also lost his life, so that's very sad to hear. But anything you guys can do to help out, that would be greatly appreciated. So just wanted to touch base with that before we got started here tonight. Let's go ahead and jump into the action, though. We're going to start things off with MX2 Race 1 first, so let me make sure I have all of these set up correctly. And we're going to go with 250 Moto 1 first. Got that. And what else is still being shown here? Got these. And pull up the game real quick. See if I can get this done without too much problems. But here we go. MX2 Race 1 getting ready to go. Pull up that moto timer and get ready to drop the gate. This is going to be 30 minutes plus 2 laps. And remember, your fastest qualifiers are going to be up here on the inside. So we got Cooper Hunt, Payson Johnson, and the rest of the runners here at Lommel. Let's drop the gate in Belgium. Several riders actually hit the gate, and out of the middle I saw Yamaha storming in. Who is it going to be? A lot of riders going down. And it's caused some chaos, but it's actually Chris Post on the Team 2 Dope 164 machine, who goes to the front early on here. He's got Austin Irwin, Brandon Nygren back here as well. Dylan Love getting passed by Braden Tharp. Everybody jockeying for position. Because this is a demo replay, the one thing that's going to be noticeable about this is there's just going to be absolutely no lag. Everybody's going to be crystal clear all the way through. And you'll see the contact the riders make with each other look a little bit maybe better because of that. Funnel through the back section here on the first lap. Chris Post leading him around, and everybody else jockeying for position. There's 4 riders in the air at one time as Tharp shorts the table, and up the inside comes Nygren. Look at Austin Irwin trying to shoot through the middle. Ends up 3 wide in this bull corner. Now Nygren lands on the back of Elliot Ringstrom. A lot of problems early on for some of these guys that got some good starts. Some unfamiliar faces up here, actually. Finally see a red plate in the background of Cooper Hunt as Austin Irwin goes down. Riders funneling through. A couple other riders going down. I think that is our fastest qualifier, Logan Lights on the 37. Also here in the mix, trying to go to the outside of Dylan Love. Got Nick Tomasunis just ahead of him. This track is going to get very rough, very challenging for these riders to deal with. Looks like Leitzel may have just laid it down and got T-boned. So your fastest qualifier and your championship leader is down. Trying to latch onto him. Kind of hard to. There it is. Cooper Hunt gets up after being down here early on, and man, the chaos is plenty of riders going down every which direction. So Hunt a little bit further back as Chris Post leads him through at the end of lap 1. Elliot Ringstrom there in second. Jack Gatlin third. Trevor Thompson fourth. Tyler Blowers is in fifth. Chad Paulson runs sixth. Braden Tharp, Nick Tomasunis, Payson Johnson, and Kevin Frazaka round out the top 10 here after 1 lap. But 30 minutes plus 2 laps on this track is certainly very challenging. There's Luke Sullivan. He is caught up to Ryan Pinkerton. We got a Yamaha rider down in the corner here of Chad Paulson. So Paulson inside of the top 10 after the opening lap hits the deck. Allows about 4 or 5 riders to sneak through. You can see kind of just a freight train being established here. Cooper Hunt trying to run down for Zaka. Johnson just went down before the wall jump, so Payson Johnson lays it over. And trying to right the ship now as he loses maybe 6, 7, maybe even more spots now. More riders going over top. That's Blake O'Brien. Also in the mix there, Christopher McPherson went through. There is Sullivan with Thomas Sunis. Tyler Blowers, Chad Paulson, almost through the front door. Then Trent Adams, Casey Cochran, Ryan Pinkerton, Cooper Hunt. Logan Leitzel just ahead of them. And it's for Zaka in P6. As Tharp up the road runs 5th. Jack Gatlin has moved his way to 4th. Trevin Thompson here in 3rd. Elliot Ringstrom still 2nd, but how about Chris Post? Team 2 Dope 164. Basically a privateer effort out here. He's good buddies with Nick Tomasunis, but they are not on the same team, or at least it doesn't seem to be the case. Tomasunis riding for MX Locker. Post out here on the Team 2 Dope 164, and he is leading in Belgium, and he's actually got a pretty comfortable lead to work with so far. All the heavy hitters we normally see running at the front have had their early problems, and Post is really just making it look too easy out here. See how long he can keep this pace up. Maybe stretch it away enough and not have to deal with any of the chaos ensuing behind. Elliot Ringstrom back here in the 2 spot on the 190. Oh, he's going to blow the inside rut and go down, though. See if he loses that 2nd spot. He might still get up in 2nd. There's riders just now coming, and they are going through. It was Trevin Thompson and Jack Gatland who have made it around. So they're now up to 2nd and 3rd, respectively. And Gatlin, the rider out of Great Britain, most certainly would like to make his way into 2nd place and try to run down Chris Post out front. Look at that drive he gets out of the outside, lands on the roller a little bit better, and he's kind of doubling his way through here. Nice pass on the outside of Trevin Thompson. And Thompson now lays it down, so Ringstrom is going to go back through in a 3rd, and Chris Post was down with the lead, so Jack Gatlin's going to take it over as Gatland goes to the front. So Gatlin now leads. Chris Post has slid back to 2nd. Elliot Ringstrom is still there at 3rd, but suddenly our leaders are nose to tail when they had been pretty separated through the opening few laps here. Doesn't seem like Chris Post wants to let Gatlin get away, but he's going to slide it down out of that left-hand turn. Ringstrom goes by. There is Logan Leitzel, so your fastest qualifier. Made it all the way up to 3rd so far here in MX2 Race 1. The MX Simulator Grand Prix of Belgium. Round 8 of 12 in this championship. Little mistake there for Leitzel on landing, but he has certainly closed the gap down to Elliot Ringstrom on the MadeStickers.com 190, and you can still see Gatlin just up the road. So Leitzel going to try to go into the lead quickly as Gatlin goes down. Ringstrom has taken over the race lead, and Leitzel still hot on his heels. Now senses an opportunity to get away at the front in the early stages of this one, which is actually going to be pretty big for him after he crashed on the opening lap of the race. And it could have been a lot worse than it is. But already battling for the lead. Goes to that 3rd rut. Inside looks to be the preferred option through there, though. And Leitzel just carrying so much speed out to this back section. These guys all launched to that 3rd roller. Curious to see if maybe the 450 guys would like to go one further and land on the 4th roller before the table. Ringstrom to the far outside. Leitzel hooks the 2nd rut, but it's all about drive down this long straightaway on a 250F. In this game, momentum is everything. So that outside line, it gives up the kind of the door of opportunity for Leitzel to swing down the inside and maybe block Ringstrom. But as soon as he's able to skirt by, he has got more momentum and pretty much uses it all to his advantage down the straightaway. And because of that, has actually slowly opened up the gap just a little bit again. Leitzel was a little bit closer, but now you can see that 37 machine is reeling him in. So through the back section one more time, out towards the finish line jump into the last corner here. 8 minutes down, 22 minutes, and 2 laps still to go here at MX2 Race 1 in Belgium. Ringstrom scrubs, hits the second run and goes down. Pushes the inside line just the same way he did while he was in second place not too long ago. And Leitzel has taken over the race lead. Chris Post, your early leader, moves back into second. Trevin Thompson now finds his way to third. And your championship leader, Cooper Hunt, now moves into fourth here. Ringstrom back to fifth, and then Casey Cochran on that BPC number 62. Down here in P6. Trent Adams behind him in seventh. Got Jack Gatlin coming through in eighth. Ryan Pinkerton back here in ninth. And Seth Shirley rounds out the top 10. Payson Johnson, second in the championship, entering this round, is struggling a little bit as his teammate runs up in fourth and is gaining championship points on him all the while. Little mistake there for Johnson, but recovers and maintains 11th. Rogan McIntosh is right there with Cody Cooper. Look at Cody Cooper on that 227 MadeStickers.com machine, trying to get up the inside of Johnson. Doesn't quite get there in time, though. Look at that. Johnson lays it over, launches out there. Little mistake for Seth Shirley, and Johnson's going to have a lot of momentum coming down this straightaway. See if he can turn it into something. Doubles into the gap. Doubles again up the inside. Going to get around Seth Shirley easily in the end. So Shirley settles back in behind the 351. Meanwhile, Ryan Pinkerton has caught up to Casey Cochran just up the road. I wonder if there's been a couple mistakes perhaps for Cochran, because he was up the road just a little bit more than this. Jack Gatlin has gotten around him. Trent Adams. Here's Cooper Hunt on Trevin Thompson. Thompson actually has got around Hunt, though, because Hunt was in fourth. Has now slid back to fifth and has to try to repass Trevin Thompson here. They have Elliot Ringstrom just ahead of them on the 190. Ooh, that's Chris Post down. Ringstrom's going to go around him into second. Post remains third. And Hunt goes up the inside of Thompson to get into fourth again. Nearly 3 wide coming into this corner. But Post swings outside, and Hunt going to go up into third now behind Ringstrom. No sight whatsoever of your race leader, Logan Leitzel. Stretched out a nice advantage on these guys going the other way in the wave section there. Oh, and Post just landed on Cooper Hunt. That is going to cost him a bit of time as he tries to turn it around. Finally does just before Jack Gatlin and Casey Cochran get there. It's like Cochran has pulled away from Pinkerton and caught back up to Gatlin. But as he tries this inside line, Gatlin blows the outside and goes down. And Gatlin laying on the track as Pinkerton goes through. There goes Payson Johnson. And is that Seth Shirley or Nygren? That is Shirley. Let's peek back out front and see what's happening. Looks like Cooper Hunt has yet again lost another position Out to 12.5 minutes, though. It's Logan Leitzel with a sizable advantage. Elliot Ringstrom has moved back into second, Thompson in third, and Hunt has to go back to the drawing board here. Let's go on board with the championship leader. A mistake into that bull turn after the finish line jump. 2:07.3 last time by. A 2:02.2 was his best. And that kind of clues us into perhaps a small tip over of some kind there towards the end of this lap that may have cost him third. Trying to launch out and land into that corner. It's very challenging to always ride the limit of a 250F on a track like this. You just feel like you never really get any breaks, which is somewhat similar to real life, obviously. Sand tracks in real life, they are quite a challenge, difficult to always find the flow. Is Hunt going to get up the inside of Thompson, gets to that rut first, and then kind of blows it, so Thompson going to pull back alongside and get right back by. Hunt tries to launch the double out, but doesn't actually get quite that close, and now has to painstakingly whoop his way through the rollers all the way out. Oh, trying to launch it into the corner. There's a rider down right there. Was that? No, it was a lapped rider. Looks like they've already come across some of the lapped riders in this grouping. Hunt finish off this lap. He's been losing time to Thompson. 2:08.5 now. Trevor Thompson does a 2:06.8. Elliot Ringstrom with a 2:01.5, but man, Leitzel out front is in a different zip code. A 2:08.2 last time by, so must have had a little mistake or something, but a 1:57.4, his best lap so far here on lap number 8. All right, let's give you guys a top 20 rundown. This one brought to you by atom.com. Head over to atom.com today and check out his latest line of music, latest line of merch, and help out longtime MX Simulator community member Adam Holm as he endeavors on his music career. And we thank him for coming on board with the broadcasts this year. This top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. Logan Leitzel, Underground RC number 37 machine, leads at the halfway point here. MX2 Race 1 of the Belgian Grand Prix. Elliot Ringstrom running in second on the 190 MadeStickers.com effort. Then Trevor Thompson on the 151 Cyber Designs machine coming down here in third. Cooper Hunt on the number 20 Underground RC Cowie here up in fourth. Championship leader entering this event, Seth Shirley, comes through in fifth on the atom.com number 80. And a whole host of riders battling here, it looks like, for the sixth spot. So let's stick here for just a moment. You got Johnson, Pinkerton, and actually two lapped riders. So it's really just Johnson moving into sixth on the Underground RC 351 ahead of Pinkerton on the Yogi Designs number 395. And then Casey Cochran now moves into eighth on the 62 BPC machine. Ninth for your early race leader, Chris Post, on the Team 2 Dope 164. And 10th now is Trent Adams on the atom.com number 43. Oh, but he goes down and, takes a rider with him. That appears to have been a lapped rider, though. So moving into 10th for the time being, Luke Sullivan fills KTM number 11. 11th now, Jack Gatlin on the Impact number 369. Adams back to 12th. Austin Irwin on the MadeStickers.com number 212 moves to 13th. 14th for Tyler Blowers on the Underground RC effort here. 15th for Braden Tharp on the 415 fills KTM. 16th for Rogan McIntosh on the MobGraphics.com. I think that's the number 89 effort right there. The 227. Cody Cooper on the MadeStickers.com ride here runs in 17th. The 999 of Nick Tomasunis on his MXLocker.com machine runs in 18th, 19th. It's Blake O'Brien on the 167 OVO machine. And 20th for the 310 effort out here. That is mobgraphics.com, Alec Horn. It's a top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. Ooh, Gatlin down, swapped before the big roller there. Down past the mechanics area. Luke Sullivan sneaks away. Chris Post dealing with pressure from Pinkerton, but trying to run down Cochran. Johnson now all by himself trying to catch his teammate, actually, Cooper Hunt. So Hunt at one point had a pretty sizable advantage on Johnson. And it is completely dissolved at this point. Now Hunt's still back behind Trevin Thompson, running in third, having one of the best races of his career to this point on his Cyber Designs 151 machine. Carrying speed through this back section. Elliot Ringstrom is all by himself here in second. 14 seconds off of race leader Logan Leitzel. Leitzel has been unheated at the front since about 8 minutes into this. He took over the race lead and pulled out a pretty big gap in a hurry. And now it seems like he's kind of settled into a race pace he's comfortable with. But as usual, this track can always come up to bite you when you least expect it. There as he almost went off the rut and down and ends up having to roll the big wall jump there instead of launching it out. Might have been on purpose. You never know. Sometimes these guys guess at this stage of the race, coming up on the 20-minute mark, you're 2/3 into this. Track is getting deeper. The ruts are getting more treacherous to navigate. This is about the time when you want to start thinking about some different options than you've been using most of the race to this point. You can see Ringstrom here having some difficulties, coming up short, going long, etc. And back to Trevin Thompson, who now instead has Payson Johnson right on him. So Johnson has already gotten around Cooper Hunt for fourth, and it looks like he is wanting to waste little time to go after Thompson here. Look at the run he is getting that rear tire down, launching the double out, and Thompson is a sitting duck through the wave section here. Johnson up to third. 2 flat 0.9 last time by. A 159.1 his best lap of the race. And I'll tell you what, depending on what happens with Leitzel out front, not exactly completely out of the question for Johnson to maybe win this. As he goes to second, Ringstrom was down. He's 33 seconds off the lead, but Ringstrom has just coughed up second place. Thompson goes to third, and Ringstrom drops back to fourth. Oh, and lapped rider going down there. And peculiarly, we haven't seen Cooper Hunt quite go with Johnson the same way that he probably would like to. So I wonder, maybe Hunt having some problems here. Just coming to grips with the changing conditions of the racetrack. And oh, actually down on the outside there is Payson Johnson. And he almost loops out, then front flips. And then a bad track re-entry there puts him in front of a lapped rider. Trying to see lapped rider there. Is that Devin Ryan maybe on the 52? Not going to be too thrilled with that track re-entry there from Johnson, but that has thrown the tide back in the favor of Cooper Hunt, who a moment ago we were talking about how he's struggling with the track, and there it is. Tucks the front end before the mechanics area. Here comes Johnson. Let's see if he gets the spot back. And he will. Johnson back through. Hunt gets going just as the 52 machine, a lap down there, comes into the fray. But Hunt was given the gift of opportunity there and thwarted it immediately by crashing just a few corners after Johnson did. And these guys kind of playing musical positions at this point. Up the road, though, here is Trevin Thompson. Logan Leitzel has, at this point, though, likely an insurmountable gap at the front. 22.5 minutes down, and Leitzel 58.9. The lap times he's putting down still are staggering. 41.2 second lead. I'm just going to sit back and let you guys watch a lap here with Leitzel. Whoa, Leitzel hopping the rut there. I'll stick on board with him here, though, as he tries to get back into the rhythm. Not going to lose too much time from that, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. He's going to get back after it. You can see the track is developing quite a bit. So let's see what Leitzel's lap time turns out to be here after that little mistake. He is still absolutely flying around this track. 45.6 second lead. I think there's going to be about a 202 maybe? 204? 204.4 there for your race leader, Logan Leitzel. Coming up on just 5 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Johnson, as mentioned, moved into second place and has kind of stayed there. Trevin Thompson is still pretty close, but this is maybe the key battle to watch here with Hunt trying to close up on Johnson. Hunt has to get through Trevin Thompson first, and or Trevin Thompson, I should say, and if he can, make it an underground RC 1-2-3. Thompson high centering on that rut. Here comes Cooper Hunt. He's going to try to go to the inside here into the final turn, and he shuts the door with authority. So Cooper Hunt back into third place. Now the question is, can he run down his teammate Johnson? Jeremy Monco, this is a rebroadcast of a race from 2 weeks ago, so this is actually not happening at the current moment. Hence, there's not really a server to send you to, because this race is not happening in a server at the moment. Ooh, this is a stack up and a half. Johnson's going to have to go to the outside. Look at that. 4 or 5 riders together here. 3 of them down in the corner, and Johnson had to tuck to the outside. Now he's got to work through 3 more lapped riders. Seems like he's done pretty good at losing his teammate Hunt, and as I say that, he has to enduro over another rider's bike right there. And now Hunt coming into the same group of lapped riders. He's got to be careful. Nice job electing to cross back over. Underground RC 1-2-3 in this race with Trevin Thompson having a fantastic moto here in Belgium on the Cyber Designs 151. Still lurking back there in case things get a little rowdy. Ooh, Hunt riding a little high and tight there through the corner. Getting kicked around on landing, trying to get that power down underneath of him. He's got 11 seconds to make up to Johnson, so it looks like at this point, unless Johnson has another fall-off crash. Cooper Hunt is not going to be able to catch him. Still got probably 4 laps to go. Unless Leitzel has an abysmal lap here. So for him at least, it's probably about 3.5 laps to go as he works through the center of the racetrack here. Very fast racetrack that Lommel has presented itself in form this year. I feel like oftentimes Lommel has some kind of tighter, more technical sections even, where it's like left, right, switchbacks, U-turns, etc. This year it just seems like these guys can almost hold it wide open all the way through, as demonstrated here by Leitzel. 59.5 last time by, so he kind of got back on track from the lap times he was previously putting down. And as he swings to the outside here, he might be on the verge of another good one. Look at how far he launches out there. And he's going to put up a 203 flat, so actually must have once again made a little mistake. But I mean, you can see 4th gear, 5th gear. See what the lowest gear Leitzel gets to here is 3rd, 4th, 5th. So even in those 2 back and forth corners, maybe the sharpest corners on the track, I think the sharpest corners are about to come up, but only down to 3rd. Goes 4th through this left-hander, out to 5th, 4th again. So it goes down to 3rd and carries that through this sharp 180, then to the outside into 4th gear, up to 5th gear, down past the mechanics area, back down to 3rd, kind of pretty much always in 4th, goes up to 5th occasionally, goes down to 3rd in the corners sometimes. I don't know how he just saved that one. That was a swap and a half going through there. But he is pretty much going to be 5th gear all the way out back here. I think he might shift down to 4th on landing here, as he does, and he just quadded out before the table, and now he's going to lay it down. So this is going to cost him about 10 seconds, but he had a 50-second lead, so I'm sure he's going to be all right with losing some of that time. Do not apologize, Stylist, for talking. I appreciate when people are getting involved in the chat. He's in here talking about how it annoys him that in Supercross 4, when you load in a St. Louis, Ralph Shaheen says San Diego, California. Interesting that's not something that the devs have picked up on and patched yet. That's probably not something too difficult to change. But I agree. They should fix that. All right, time has now expired on the clocks, all zeros. So Logan Leitzel is going to bring us down here and get the 2-lap board. So 2 to go coming up here in Belgium. Still Logan Leitzel leading from Payson Johnson, Cooper Hunt, Trevin Thompson, and Chris Post inside the top 5. Elliot Ringstrom runs in 6th. Casey Cochran here is in 7th. Luke Sullivan right on him for 8th. So this is probably your closest battle inside of the top 10 right now. Is this one here for 7th. Cochran versus Sullivan. A couple guys that had some pretty strong indoor seasons. As Cochran got a little wayward, Sullivan had to check up. Did he still get the table? No, he shorted it, so he's not going to be able to complete the pass just yet. Cochran's going to go outside. Sullivan's going to try to get that inside hooked and get the momentum, but Cochran's got a little better drive up along the right side of the track. He's going to double into the waves here, and I think he's going to get back around Sullivan, so that just shows you the momentum factor there. Even though Sullivan pretty much had the pass made, Cochran carrying the speed around the outside just a little bit better. Now Sullivan's going to have an inside move here, and will finally stamp that pass off, as Cochran had to go to the second rut into that corner and just could not quite make it work. And then these guys are going to come down and get that 2-lap board here in just a moment. Sullivan carrying speed all the way through the corners. Riders down. That is not for position, though. There's a couple riders outside of the points, I believe. No, actually, excuse me. One of them was indeed Elliot Ringstrom. So Ringstrom down, going to lose 3 positions by the looks of it. Unfortunate for Ringstrom, who is having a strong ride inside of the top 5 for much of this one, but unfortunately it's kind of fallen apart here late. And we should have lights out front picking up the white flag here right there. So white flag is waving for your race leader. 31-second lead on Johnson still. And a change for 4th. Thompson and Chris Post are switching back and forth. It looks like Post had gotten it, and then Trevin Thompson takes it back away from him. All the while, Luke Sullivan is kind of sneaking into the picture a little bit here. He's obviously able to make that pass on Cochran and has now gapped him. And next up ahead of him, Chris Post is in his crosshairs. So let's see if he can do something about it. Post kind of jumping to the outside, rider down. There's Sullivan up the inside. Oh, crosses over and almost into the side of Chris Post right there. That was a little bit dicey to say the least, but a nice job to corral the Phil's KTM back underneath of him. And once again, goes back to work trying to run down Chris Post. Trevin Thompson up here in 4th, looking for, I believe, a career best finish for him. Cooper Hunt still 3rd. Johnson went down again. Oh, wow. Oh, no, excuse me. He's going the other direction. Thought that Johnson had closed the gap down to Leitzel significantly, but it looked like it was only down to maybe 20-ish seconds, which in the end was inconsequential as he went down again anyway. The gap has expanded once more, and now just 2 corners are left for Logan Leitzel. And a very dominant effort here. Fastest qualifier coming into this one. Got the lead 8 minutes into the moto and pretty much never looked back. So here it is, coming down to take the flag. MX2 Race 1 in Belgium belongs to Logan Leitzel. Here is Johnson in 2nd, Hunt in 3rd. Seems like those 2 riders are safe. The top 3 will be an underground RC sweep. The question remains, who gets 4th? Trevin Thompson has it almost through the front door on the table right there, but look at the big number 11. Here comes Sullivan to the outside. He's going to try to get a run off this hill and carry it all the way down the straightaway. He didn't quite get on the plateau as much as he maybe wanted to, but Thompson goes down. He flips in front of Sullivan, and Sullivan very nicely lays on the brakes to come to a stop and not hit him. Unfortunately, Thompson's going to lose 2 spots in the process as Chris Post also went by, so Thompson went from maybe getting 4th to potentially getting 6th. And he's just losing more time there, so Hunt does indeed cross in 3rd. And Sullivan up the road here, charged all the way up to get 4th in this one. Chris Post, he's going to be pretty satisfied with the top 5 effort here. Been knocking on the door with some good results lately. A couple more corners to go for these guys, just trying to make sure they all get to the flag without another mistake. Your rider going down in the last corner, for example. Sullivan does cross in 4th, and Post will get 5th here. Trevin Thompson slides back to 6th. Rogan McIntosh is in 7th, but he's trying to fend off an attack here from Cochran into the final corner, and McIntosh, I think he was going to try to go outside to in on Cochran and hits a tough block and goes down. So Cochran moves up to 7th. He will cross the line in that position. McIntosh gets back on the track behind Christopher McPherson, I think, but he is a lap down. So McIntosh will cross in 8th. It was 9th then for, surely by 9/100ths of a second. Gatlin in 11th. Austin Irwin will be 12th. Tyler Blowers 13th. Elliot Ringstrom was 14th. Braden Tharp 15th. Thomas Sunis 16th. 17th for Adams. 18th for Zaka. 19th O'Brien and 20th for Tyler Shields. We'll wait for those cuts to come in. One rider still has to cross, and here he comes. Let's take a look at the cuts at the end of this one. And it looks like Gatlin got around Pinkerton for 10th. And the rest stayed the same. Logan Leitzel, your big winner here in MX2 race number 1. All right. We're actually going to jump into 250 Moto 2 right away, or AKA MX2 race 2. Going to waste no time. Whoops. Not going into a lobby. So let's just load these guys up and get them ready to go. As MX2 race 2 is coming up, who is going to get the jump this time? For Zaka there in the middle. Going to try to get a better one. Let's see what happens as we drop the gate again here in Belgium. Not a good jumper for Zaka. It's going to come from the middle again, I think. Posty is there, but it's going to be a drag race with Seth Shirley. I think Shirley officially is going to get the Racetech.com whole shit award as Chris Post now moves into the race lead right away. And it's going to be Chris Post here leading early on. MX2 race 2, and I'll tell you what, something that I did not do was reset the track, so this track is going to look brutal for these guys, but actually not be that bad as Post tucks the front end out of the lead. These guys are seeing a completely different track in the first couple laps here than what you're seeing right now. It's a lot smoother. I did not reset the track for them, the demo, so you're going to see a lot more roughness, but I'm just going to leave it that way. I'll reset the track when we go to the MXGP guys. Everybody jockeying for positions here early on. Meanwhile, Seth Shirley already has a nice little lead developed here as he tries to stretch out an early advantage on the field. His teammate Brandon Nygren is holding down the fort in second. McIntosh with a good start in third. Alec Horn, Cooper Hunt. I think that's Leitzel and Johnson also right there. It is 37, 351, and Sullivan on the 11 as well. So pretty much all of your guys from the first moto that were up front and in strong positions are here. So let's see how this one shakes down here in Belgium. Who's going to get the overall win on the day as McIntosh dumps it off the track here before the finish line jump. Going to lose 4 spots and get back on as Sullivan gets a drive down to the finish line jump. He'll go around him as well. Ooh, a little lagging there for McIntosh on the demo even. But this man is out front. Seth Shirley leads the way. Good to see KR Money hanging out in the Chiggity chat room. Shirley hopping through the wave section down past the mechanics area. Boy, does he look good early on in this second moto. What a big breakthrough this would be for Shirley to maybe even come through and win this second moto. And he's got some help. Brandon Nygren is going to be here in second, trying to thwart the advances. Your fastest qualifier, Logan Leitzel, already trying to go into second place, though. Nygren going to try to shut the door. Leitzel has to go to the inside rut and somehow gets a better drive out of that one than Nygren. Actually surprised to see that, and still doubles into the wave sections. Not quite as good, though, as Alec Horn. Alec Horn trying to go up the inside on the 310. Oh, crossing over the ruts and nearly into the side of Leitzel as the 20 of Cooper Hunt also gets around Nygren. You got the 11 of Sullivan there as well. I did see that Johnson on the 351 tucked a front end in the bull corner back there, a couple corners back. So he is not right in this group at the moment, but he's only about 5 spots back of it. Leitzel carrying speed, riding that rear tire. This is going to be another long moto, though. It's not going to be too easy to establish yourself, although Leitzel made it look very much easy to do so in the first moto, and already it looks like he is clawing some time down to our race leader. A 1:59.4 last time through for Leitzel in second, a 2:03.1 for Shirley. They pretty much do those laps again, and Leitzel's going to be all over the number 80 machine for the lead. Stick with Leitzel here for a moment, just see whether or not he could even do that. Let's see how much time he closes down on Shirley. He's carrying so much speed down past the mechanics area, laying into that corner. Launching off of that big wall jump, landing on the nose. Does seem like he's able to inch that time even a little bit more up to Shirley. And Shirley, I'll tell you what, is not riding bad out front. He's actually riding quite well, and Leitzel is making it look too easy to catch him. But that has just been the nature in which Leitzel has been competitive of late. He has been so strong on this underground RC Cowie. Fastest qualifier on the night. Turned it into a pretty convincing first moto victory, and pretty much matching that lap time that we saw him run just a moment ago. At this point, to close right up onto Shirley. In and out of the final corner, you can see Leitzel crosses over to hit that little rut and use it as a springboard to launch to the third roller. 57.2 Logan Leitzel, a 2.1. Got to give credit to Shirley. He certainly upped the pace trying to match what Leitzel was putting down, but it might not be enough still. Leitzel has completely found another gear. Oh, Leitzel lays it down. Pushing too hard, and the front end tucks over the inside rut. There goes Cooper Hunt. He is going to move his way into second. Nygren now settles back in behind in fourth. You got Luke Sullivan in fifth, Johnson in sixth, and Sullivan just went down. Sullivan pretty much does the exact same thing that we saw Leitzel just do. Oh, we're hanging in there, KR. We got this. May or may not lose my voice, but I do it all for you guys. Adams launching out to flat there just ahead with Elliot Ringstrom. So Ringstrom has moved up to sixth. Then Johnson here is in fifth, trying to close the gap down to the 50 of Nygren. In fourth, here's Leitzel still in third with Cooper Hunt just ahead of him. And then our man Seth Shirley is still leading this race. And as mentioned, he did up the pace last time through to try to match what Logan Leitzel was laying down. So let's see whether or not Shirley can once again lower his lap time. 9.1 second lead on Cooper Hunt. Puts down a 1:59.2. So there you go. Seth Shirley has responded to the attack and the pressure that is being applied from behind. Cooper Hunt was at a 2:01.7. He goes down to a 2.4 and a 2:07.7 for Leitzel. No surprise to see his pace is still quite alarming, even with a fall-off crash. What's up, Leith Riddle? My daughter's doing well. It's actually, my wife was sick 2 weekends ago, which is why I didn't stream on Monday and do Sweden, which is going to be later on tonight, as Leitzel goes down the inside to pass Hunt. So I was taking care of my wife. Needed to obviously take care of my daughter, get her to bed that evening. So it's just going to be too late to start the stream and actually be able to stream anything relevant as Hunt gets back around Leitzel. So I pushed it off thinking I'll be good. We're just going to go through the motions. And then I got sick on Tuesday and could not stream on Wednesday. I couldn't even get out of bed, which is why a lot of you guys are maybe confused, didn't get an update message from me or anything like that. I had pretty much only reached out to Kohenauer real quick to say, hey, I'm really sick and can't do it. And unfortunately could not stream last Wednesday. So I still got a little bit of a cough, a little bit of the sniffles. But yeah, just trying to make it happen for you guys, get these streams recasted. Yeah, Stylus, I did actually realize last night actually that YouTube now has the clip feature. I didn't know that was something that was added recently, so that's cool. So yeah, if you guys if you're ever interested in wanting to see a replay of something, just clip it for me and I'll pull it up on the stream. We'll watch the replay together. Oh, nice, Leith, congratulations. Yeah, our daughter is tomorrow she will be 14 months. So a year and 2 months, whichever way you want to slice it. But yeah, man, congrats, 10 months old. Surely a little mistake laid it down, so Cooper Hunt close up a little bit more, and pretty much here comes the Underground RC swarm. Leitzel and Johnson nose to tail here for third, and they're amongst a heavy battle with each other. Look at Johnson trying to get to the inside. Leitzel fighting back to the outside. He's going to scrub and land in this corner, carry a little bit more speed. Oh man, they're practically rubbing number plates into the corner. What a pass by Payson Johnson around the outside. Ooh, that was a lapped rider. Trying to get out of the way. Johnson now trying to sprint away here from Leitzel. And Cooper Hunt and Shirley. Yeah, for those of you guys just joining us, the last 2 rounds of Grand Prix racing before last night's action at Germany, round 10, I actually missed. I was on vacation for round 8, which is this one, Belgium. So I did not stream it, and had planned to restream it that week, but then my wife got sick, so I was taking care of her. Had to miss round 9, which is Sweden, which will be recasted later tonight. Because my wife was sick and I was starting to get sick, and then had to take last Wednesday off, which is the Budds Creek National, which will be recast tomorrow before the live MX Simulator National of Ironman. So unfortunately, just trying to catch up, honestly. Missed all these races, missed broadcasting them. Wanted to get the broadcast done for you guys, so pulled the demos. Thanks to Jeremy Kohenauer for getting them to me. And now we're essentially just re-watching the races that have happened already. I don't know the results. I don't know what happened in these races. I didn't go look at the results to prep for this or anything like that. I'm trying to live react to this as much as I would. So round 8 right now. Round 9 is going to be tonight. And then round 9 of Nationals tomorrow at this time. And then round 10 of Nationals will be live tomorrow night. So we're going to do 5 live streams in 3 days. Roughly speaking, about 15 hours of broadcasting in 3 days. We got it. Tell you what we got is a battle for the lead. Seth Shirley has been caught again. Payson Johnson charging up from behind. Oh, gonna launch out onto the rollers there. Gonna get up the inside of Shirley, and Johnson goes to the race lead. So he already was in a position to win the overall with his 2-2 scores at that in that situation. Now goes to the lead and solidifies it. Logan Leitzel is the one that has to do the catching up here. Winner of the first moto pretty much has to beat Johnson to win the overall here today. Oh, I'll still be streaming. Don't you worry, sunshine. We are going to take a little bit of a break after this one is over. I think, tentatively speaking, we'll actually be streaming Sweden later tonight at around 7:20-ish Pacific, so 10:20 Eastern. It's going to be a late night broadcast. Essentially need to do that to help out with my daughter, getting her down for bed. So, but we'll see. Maybe I end up starting at 6. I'll let you guys know, though. Leitzel goes off the track as he had finally caught up to Shirley for second. And let's try to get us through a top 20 rundown real quick here as we approach the halfway point. 15 minutes in, 15 minutes still to go, plus 2 laps. And atom.com going to bring you this top 20 rundown. So head over to atom.com, check out his music, check out his merch, and support the people who support us. Payson Johnson, the Underground RC 351 machine, leads race 2 here in Belgium. Seth Shirley on the number 80. atom.com Cowie runs in second. Third is Logan Leitzel on the Underground RC number 37, your Moto 1 winner right there. Jack Gatlin on the 369 Impact machine runs in fourth. And fifth is your championship leader entering tonight, Cooper Hunt. Third in the first moto. Fifth currently on his Underground RC number 20. Sixth is Logan Leitzel, the Phil's KTM number 11, just ahead of Brandon Nygren in seventh. atom.com number 50. Eighth for Kevin Frazaka on the BPC number 323. Ninth for Elliot Ringstrom on the 190 MadeStickers.com effort. And 10th is the 490 there of Rogan McIntosh on the MobGraphics.com Gas. 11th for Will Clark on the Boots House number 114. 12th for Alex Kerr on the number 52 Jack Daniels Racing Husqvarna. 13th is Ryan Pinkerton on his Yogi Designs number 395. 14th for Noah McLaughlin's Cyber Designs effort out here on the number 124 machine. It's 15th for Trent Adams. Yeah, on the atom.com number 43. 16th for Alec Horn. Mobgraphics.com number 310. 17th was Dylan Love. Proline Designs number 174. Let's see if he stays there. No, he will lose that position. Tyler Shields on the 777 Stool Bend machine goes into 17th, I should say. 18th now. Trevin Thompson on the Cyber Designs 151. He was 6th in the first moto, so this is going to be a rough one for him. 19th for Hollywood Wascom, but he goes down. So Dylan Love goes into 19th. And 20th now is Blake O'Brien on the OVO 167. That's been a top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. Mason Johnson, your race leader here. What is up, Pay 2021? How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you hanging out in the chat. Oh, Johnson low lines into the corner there, and that was very close to going even more wrong than he wanted it to. Ooh, that was Braden Tharp laying it down in front of him. So these guys are struggling with some lap traffic. Seth Shirley is still back here hoping for the tides to turn against Johnson, and maybe he can sneak into the race lead of this one. Hey, Jeff Sparks. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate you watching all the races. And welcome to the comment zone for the first time. All right, so is Leitzel actually wearing into these guys at all is the real question. 159.6 last time by. 203.4 and a 203.8, so there you go. I mean, that's pretty much 4 seconds gained right there. Last time by for Leitzel. Riders trying to get out of the way as Johnson comes through. 5.6 second lead. Another 7.6 seconds off of them is Leitzel, but he was just off the track, so he's going to lose even more time there. Oh, Leitzel getting sketchy and then jumps underneath the 241 there. Go ahead, Ashton. Ask away, buddy. Oh, Leitzel trying to regroup, goes down. Coming into some problems here mid-race, and it's costing him. Coming down to just 10 minutes and 2 laps left to go for Johnson out front. And as it currently sits, he is going to be your overall winner on the day. 2-1 scores. Seth Shirley, who I believe was 6th in the first moto, somewhere there or thereabout. Oh, actually, he was behind Trevin Thompson. We had Sullivan move into 4th. Was Shirley in 5th in that one? Either way, not a factor for the overall with Johnson out front. And Shirley blows a corner after the finish line jump. That is going to allow Leitzel to go by. He'll move his way into 2nd. Shirley remounts still in 3rd. Cooper Hunt back here in 4th. And then Gatlin coming through in P5. Yeah, well, he just retracted the message, but Ashton G had asked if I'd heard anything about Monster Energy Cup. It normally happens in October. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen this year. We haven't heard any announcements, any rumbling, anything like that from Feld. My guess is it doesn't happen. Sam Boyd Stadium is scheduled to be torn down, might already be torn down, I'm not 100% sure. But it's not going to happen there if it does. So if it did happen, it would happen at the StubHub Center, I think is what it's called now, which is in Carson, California, which is a kind of subset of LA. But I don't think it's happening this year. So I think once the Nationals are over, we have, Motocross of Nations at the end of September. I'm pretty sure Bercy and a couple other things are still on, but Australia is not going to happen. There's not going to be AusX Open or anything like that. So it's going to be another pretty long, slow off-season again this year, with not a whole lot of racing going on, unfortunately to say. John Mark says, when did you buy MX Sim? I bought Sim, I think officially speaking, in January of 2012. My UID is 4928. So I was the 4,928th person to buy the game. There's a lot of people with much lower UIDs than me. I know people with UIDs as low as number 2. August Sanders, for example, has the 2nd ever copy of the game after JLV, who is UID 1. A lot of my buddies are in the 200s, 300s with their purchase of the game, but I bought it pretty much a decade ago now. Not a whole lot happening in this one. Trying to keep tabs on the battles, but nothing really going on. Luke Sullivan maybe here behind Jack Gatlin is our closest one to watch. See if Sullivan can run down Gatlin ahead of him. Who do I think will be on Team USA for MXON? I am almost 1,000% sure it's going to be Justin Barsha, Chase Sexton, and RJ Hampshire. The only caveat there is things are starting to tighten up a little bit with restrictions. We keep hearing that maybe the Motocross of Nations date is going to move as Sullivan goes around Gatlin. And we do know for a fact that the Japanese manufacturers were a lot more stringent on their crackdowns with COVID-19 protocols in 2020. So Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki had tougher things to deal with because Japan didn't want, travel, certain things like that. Oh, now Sullivan goes down. So the only, I think, question mark at the moment is whether or not Sexton will go. But I'm pretty sure he's going to go. Man, that kind of shows the growth of the game in basically 2 years' time with you having UID 13218. So you're basically almost, what, like 9,000 more copies of the game sold from me in January 2012 to you in December in 2013, when it already had been out for 6 years at that point. So it went from, I bought it in January of 2012. It came out in, I think, officially speaking, April of 08 was the first time game copies were being sold. So I was basically 5 years late to the party, if you will. And then, wow, went from me getting it at almost 5,000 to 2 years later, you were in the 14,000s pretty much. Look at that. UID 33,936, Damian Lawyer. Curious what we're at now. I really do want to know what the highest UID is, who has bought the game recently, and what their UID is. Because, I mean, extrapolate that out, honestly. You know, JLV, I'm sure he gives some cut to BMT Micro Orders, who he uses to sell the game. But he's always sold the game at $42. So $42, you give a little percentage of it. Let's say it goes down to $30 per copy that he sells. I mean, once you get to, oh man, it's a little close right there. Yeah, once you get to 10,000 copies sold at $30 a pop, he's made 300 grand. So by the time he's into, what, 33,936, he'd have made $1 million off the game, which is really cool, I think. Like, for a guy that, he's a coder. He's already pretty old. I think he's in his late 50s. He was just trying to create something that he thought was fun and that people would enjoy. I don't think he ever really had any ambitions of turning it into a big commercialized game. Still doesn't really have ambitions for that. He's kind of let the community run with it. And for a project that he just kind of sat down and worked on and didn't, I think, necessarily, I don't think there was a whole lot of, thought onto every little detail of how he's going to develop the game and everything like that. He obviously put a lot of meticulous time into how the physics and stuff would work, which is why it's lasted so long. But hey, I mean, basically one guy created this and reaps the benefit of having somewhere in the $1 to $1.5 million in terms of revenue sold from it. So that's pretty cool. Wow, a lot of 48,000s. That's crazy. So yeah, 48,000. Let's just, again, extrapolate that out real quick. 48,000 at $30 a pop. $1.4 million. Not too bad. Race is kind of tailored off here with 2 minutes still to go. So just kind of talking to you guys in chat. Leatherdale wants to know, did J Coop pull out? J Coop, I don't think ever was planning on going to Motocross of Nations this year. Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha bought the goat farm from Ricky Carmichael last year, and they are in the process of moving all of their infrastructure, team, everything to Florida to live and train at the goat farm. So Cooper is part of that, and J-Mart and everybody on that team, and they're moving pretty much right when Motocross of Nations would happen. So none of those guys ever, I think, were going to be available to compete for the team, unfortunately. No, JLV is a one-man crew. He has never had anybody actually help develop the game for him. He has had some guys help moderate the game for him. DJ99X was kind of the first of that really helped out with a lot of user-made stuff that JLV started allowing users to use to create stuff and work on different mods and stuff like that for the game. But it's always been just JLV creating the physics, creating the models, or the infrastructure for the game that works, etc., etc. It is $40, but I can't imagine JLV pulls in all $42 that the game is sold for. He uses BMT micro orders, which I have to imagine takes a fraction of that transaction, plus sales tax on it. So all right, time about to expire. Johnson trying to go 2-1 to Leitzel's 1-2. Seth Shirley still here in third. Cooper Hunt in fourth. Nygren in fifth. Cowie's all throughout the top five. Luke Sullivan here in sixth. Jack Catlin in seventh. Rogan McIntosh is in eighth. Alec Horn is in ninth. And Elliot Ringstrom rounds out our top 10 with the 2-lap board set to come out here for Johnson. I've played Lommel for a track walk before, but I don't think it was ever this version. Payson Johnson, 11-second lead with 2 laps to go. He's trying to weave through some lap traffic here, though. That is Elliot Ringstrom on the 190 he's trying to pass. Oh, and he goes down! Oh, Johnson is down. He is collected here with Elliot Ringstrom. I don't believe that they actually touched. Oh, but then Leitzel gets taken to the ground as well. Lap traffic coming into play here. Ooh, meanwhile, Seth Shirley has Cooper Hunt go around him, so it's all kicking off at one time here. The 2-lap board coming out for these guys. Wow. That was quite interesting how this all broke down rather quickly. So Hunt back into third. That's going to benefit his title chase with Johnson, obviously. Yeah, France is not going to go for France. France has already picked their team. It's Marvin Muscan, MXGP, Tom Vial, MX2, and Mathis Bois-Romé, MX Open. Ferrandis declined, and Roman Fevre, who is also challenging for the MXGP world title, also declined, citing that he is currently in a battle for the world championship and doesn't want to get hurt at the Nations and maybe cost himself a chance at winning a world title. All right, white flag is about to wave for your race leader, Payson Johnson. Trying to stamp off the race win here at Belgium today. 2-1 performance is going to be enough to get it done. And he's already ditched Logan Leitzel by a pretty decent amount here. Leitzel actually is going to go down. These guys are going to get closer. Shirley and Hunt are battling heavy for third place right now. They're going to get closer to Leitzel, not close enough to pass him. Sorry, I had to ban that guy. Apologies for that. All right, back to this action. Shirley and Hunt going at it for third place. This doesn't decide the podium. I'm pretty sure Hunt is still going to end up on it with a 3-4. A 3-3 would be a little bit nicer in terms of points. Over that little anthill single jump down past the mechanics area. Shirley hopping through. Hunt right there. And Leitzel, I mean, he's not that far up the road. Another late crash here for Leitzel could really cost him. Meanwhile, out front, 3 corners to go. Needed this in his fight for the championship against his teammate, Cooper Hunt. It's been an up and down year for Johnson, having to miss an entire round. But at least he has got the Belgian Grand Prix ticked off on his mantle. Payson Johnson going to slowly bring it down to the flag. He's going to let Alec Horn go back by. But Payson Johnson has won MX2 Race 2 here in Belgium and wins the overall with it. He's your Grand Prix winner on the day. And it looks like Leitzel has Trent Adams right behind him. But not for position, so Leitzel will come down and end up second in this one and second overall, 1-2 on the day. Hate when you go 1-2 and not get the overall, but just the way it's going to work out. Cooper Hunt, third in this one. Seth Shirley will cross in fourth. Brandon Nygren will make it a Cowie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a fifth in this one. Luke Sullivan here in sixth. Jack Gatlin, seventh. Rogan McIntosh down in P8, and then Alec Horn already finished this one up in 9th. Elliot Ringstrom was 10th. 11th for Ryan Pinkerton. 12th was Will Clark. 13th for Chris Post. 14th for Kevin Verzaka. 15th for Devin Davis. 16th Trent Adams. 17th for Chad Paulson. 18th for Dylan Love. 19th for Tyler Shields. And a couple corners to go here for Noah McLaughlin, and he will end up being the final points-paying position. Tyler Blauer is trying to close up, but not going to be close enough. Here's McLaughlin across the line, 20th. Let's go back up. Got McIntosh and Gatlin still to finish. Gatlin going to end up 7th, McIntosh 8th. So the 369 machine bringing us down here. One final turn. And I'm going to have to reset the track real quick, and then we'll load in MXGP Race 1. On the flip side of this, we know the overalls. We're just going to wait for cuts to come in. As McIntosh about to cross in 8th, so let's wait for those cuts. See what we get. McIntosh over the line in P8. We'll go back to 20th. One rider still coming. And bam, let's take a look. Looks like Will Clark got around Pinkerton for 11th. And the rest stayed the same. Payson Johnson wins the overall here today at MX Simulator Grand Prix of Belgium. Let's get back to the intermission screen here, and I'll reset the track real quick. Go to the trusty Allcrest map to do so. How's everybody doing, though? You guys hanging in there good? Having a good time at the races tonight? All right, and let's load in GP Round 8, MXGP Race 1 coming up. So we'll do that. Turn off our moto timer. Go back to our intermission screen. And wait it out. Trying to keep the fluids coming. Hollow Soul is working. Johnson is a beast, says Jeff Spark. Joseph Rongo is doing good for certain films. Track walk on Allcrest. I should actually do a track walk series on all the stock tracks someday, huh? I got to get track walker rolling again. I got to get some t-shirts out to the guys that won them. I'm just way behind the 8 ball here. Playing AC and leaving the race on in the back. So is that Assetto Corsa Competitive Zone or just the basic Assetto Corsa? I'm doing very well, Benjamin Lay. How are you? Thanks for tuning in to the broadcast today. MXGP Race 1 coming up next. Waiting for these bikes to load. Rodrigo Borges says, who is riding for Team USA? It's going to be officially announced at Paula in a week and a half, I guess, basically. But we believe it's going to be Justin Barsha, RJ Hampshire, and Chase Sexton. All right, Neil's got a compound for a track walk coming here in the next month or so. I like it. Is that Neil Wells? Because I definitely like when he does those compounds. Compounds are sweet. All right, let's make sure we are dialed in here and got everything we need. Guess we'll take a look at Adam Holm next to Leclerc off the start. Let us get going here with MXGP, race number 1 here at Belgium. 30 minutes plus 2 laps for these guys getting set to go. JLV's going to turn that 30 card sideways. And the revs are going to go up, and we're going to be off and running for the big boys here in Belgium. Pretty good start for Leclerc. Gets pinched off. It's going to be the 45. Caleb Hall gets to the corner first, but leading through and actually picking up the Race Tech Hole Shot Award going to be Tyron Tomic. Tomic, Magnetti, Brett Thomas, Aaron Rockefeller all up here. Adam Holm with a good start. He is in 5th. And for you asking why AP is not going to go to donations, it's not because he's hurt. The entire Star Racing Yamaha effort is not going to go because they are moving to Florida that week. Everybody that races for Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha will be moving to Florida to train at the Goat Farm. And they're actually going to be doing it the week of Motocross of Nations, so that whole operation needs to move. All these guys need to move their families, bikes, etc. And so because of that, some of the guys that would maybe be good fits for the team to go are not going to go. So AP is out. Ferrandis isn't going from France. No Christian Craig. No Justin Cooper in the MX2 class, etc., etc. But Tomic, the Australian on the CV, number 23, leads the way here at Lommel. MXGP Race 1, Magnetti, Adam Holm back here. Brett Thomas, Jeffrey Bruns, Caleb Hall. I see Leclerc getting into the mix as well. Oh, a mistake there for Brett Thomas. Here's Leclerc, though, with Lang, and that is your championship fight. These two pretty much in a league of their own out front, and Lang now going to get around Jeffrey Bruns as well. So Leclerc and Lang dicing through the field early on. Tyron Tomic leads at the end of lap 1 with Magnetti hot on his heels. Adam Holm there in 3rd, and Leclerc is going to go to 4th around Caleb Hall. And Tyler Lang just behind them. Look at this move inside for Lang. I'll tell you what, I mean, it is going to be a bummer. Oh, as Tomic goes down out of the lead, he's going to lose 2 spots, maybe 3. Yes, 3 as Leclerc goes by, and then an awful job getting going again, so he's going to lose at least 1 more, if not 2. He holds on, and, ooh, Caleb Hall, nice save there. As Magnetti goes to the front from Holm. But in talks about Team USA and their chances, they're still going to have maybe the best team on the track. You could argue that France with Muscan, Vial, and Bois-Romé could be as good or better, but Bois-Romé jumping up to a 450 for the first time, always a question mark there. They're not going to have Renault, who is battling for a world championship. They're not going to have Feber, who's battling for a world championship. Tim Geiser, sounds like he's not going to go. It sounds like Hurlings, I believe, is still going or thinking about going, but you're having more and more riders elect not to go. Because Motocross of Nations happens with like a GP still to go. So for the Americans, it's at the end of the season. There's nothing else beyond that. It's just Supercross to train for next year. The GP guys, it's right after the Riolu Sardo, I think is what it's called, the Grand Prix of Sardinia, basically. And they have like 8 GPs to go after that. So a lot of top nations are not going to send their best teams. I would doubt you would see anybody that's in a championship picture go. Cairoli might not go for Italy. Hurlings might go, but then Koldenhoff might not go for the Netherlands. So Team USA still might have the best team out there. I guess the one problem that they're going to face at that point then is that Mantova, where they're going to host the Motocross of Nations, is not a sand track, but it's a little bit sandier than than not being a sand track, I guess. Like, it's got a sandy base to it, and the Euros are obviously just insane in the sand, so. But we'll see. I still think they have a good shot at winning. Leclerc already closing up on Adam Holm here in a hurry. And right up to the number 2 machine. Leclerc wasting little time, wants to go to the front here. A 53 for Alexis Leclerc. Absolutely flying in the early stages. And because of it, he's kind of pushed Holm up to Magnetti. We've already got like a 3-rider battle, almost a 4-rider battle, if that, building for the race lead here. Here comes Leclerc, though. Look, it stays a little bit lower. Downsides that. Going to pull up alongside Holm. Who's going to get the better drive through here? It seems like Leclerc's got it, but Holm's trying to fight back on the outside. Doesn't matter. Leclerc gets through and into second place. Tyler Lang, his championship rival, is trying to match him, though, all the way through. Is a little mistake there for Holm. Lang, he gets all kinds of sideways, but a nice save. Now it's Magnetti from Leclerc, Holm, and Lang out front. And just like that, Leclerc to the lead. Little mistake for Magnetti. And that's all she wrote. Magnetti drops back to second. Holm now in third. And Lang has got to make some quick work of these guys if he hopes to stick with Leclerc. 54-3 last time by Leclerc. 54-2. 58-3 Magnetti. 57-3 Holm. And another 54-3 out of Lang. So he is, at the moment at least, matching Leclerc's pace. But he's got to make these passes happen quicker. Magnetti down out of second place, and he swapped coming through the first turn complex. So going through there was Frank Jackson, and Magnetti remounts now in 5th. Tyron Tomic just up the road a ways from this group now. Oh, so he went around with Holm, actually, so that actually put Magnetti back to 6th, excuse me, behind Frank Jackson, and Lang goes down. Oh, that's a heartbreaker right there. Frank Jackson just went down as well. Here comes Magnetti into the fray. He's going to try to weave through these guys. And Lang, who is trying to match Leclerc's pace, is now going to have a whole host of work to do to try to get up to the number 1 machine. This is Leclerc's type of race, though. He is very good in the sand. One of the best sand riders we've ever had in the history of this game. And he's looking pretty comfortable in it right now, to say the least. So Leclerc over the finish line jump onto lap number 5. Now leading the race here from Adam Holm in 2nd. Tyron Tomic moves his way back into 3rd. Tyler Lang runs in 4th. We're just missing a number 3, but we got 1, 2, and 4 in their respective positions. Leclerc number 1 is in P1. Adam Holm number 2 is in P2, and Tyler Lang number 4 is in P4. Kind of funny how that works out. Jackson back here in 5th. Got Braden Castaneda through here in 6th. Matthias Janis is in 7th. Caleb Hall jumps in. He is in 8th. Brandon Larson is in 9th. And Luke Magnetti tries to get up the inside here from 10th. Nicely done in the end. Moves his way into 9th around Larson. Still early stages of this race, though. Not even yet a third of the distance through. The race is trying to settle into a bit of a pace here, a bit of a groove. Janis has gone through on Frank Jackson, but he shorts it, and Jackson launches the quad out into the rollers. I think that's going to be enough to make the pass. Janis is trying to fight back. Goes to the third rut, and it was just not very good right there. Lost quite a bit of ground in the process. Now Janus back around the outside. Getting back around Frank Jackson as these two jockey for position. Nice little tidy battle being held right here. Leclerc's now stretched it out to 7 seconds on Holm out front. Seems like might start to become a bit of a race of time trialing, if you will. These guys are more focused on hot laps than they are battling each other. Curious to see kind of what happens first. Is Leclerc going to continue to extend? Will he crash? Will these other guys maybe pick up their pace and start bringing it back in? Looks like Holm has actually clawed back about a second already. You can see from Leclerc's perspective how the track is kind of shaping up so far. Let's actually go on board with Holm and see what he's doing. He is charging very nicely in and out of the corners. Ooh, is that? No, it's not Leclerc. There was a rider down, but not sure who it was actually. As a lap rider looks like getting up there from a crash. Thought it might have been Leclerc. It was not. Let's find ourselves a battle, perhaps, huh? Anything close? Anybody? Bueller? Jeffrey Brun's going down, going to lose a couple spots. Allows the 39 of Caden Speck through. Speck flying in now. He's closed right up onto Rockefeller and might make a quick pass here as well. And they split. Is that Wilson or was that Jet Wisdom down? Either way, Caden Speck makes fairly quick work of Aaron Rockefeller. Nicely set up couple of passes there. It was Jet Wisdom that was down. He's now battling with the 63 of Braden Carter, who is actually the number 19 machine. And Jeffrey Brun's also there on the 333. Look at Carter. Oh, T-bones Caden Speck hard. Just came through the corner blind, had Wisdom on the inside of him and could not see up the hill. The second he came through the corner, it was already too late, could not get on the brakes in time and absolutely plows Caden Speck, who was just getting up from a little tip over. Oh, Brun's launching the flat there and goes down. Another rider down. That was the 65 of Rockefeller, so things coming unglued a little bit. Some of these guys in the mid-pack. Up front seems like things are still pretty stagnant. Does seem like Leclerc has lost some ground. He has. 3.2 seconds back now is Holm. 54.8 last time by, 54.8 they match each other, so I wonder if Holm maybe dialed it up a little bit, or did Leclerc make a mistake, or did both happen? So Holm figured out some stuff that's working for him, and Leclerc also had a bit of a problem on top of that. See how hard Holm is pushing, though. He is desperate to try to close this gap down to Leclerc, and it's just not working. Leclerc is continuing to extend it even a little bit more now. So Holm puts down a 54.2, but it was a 56.8 for Leclerc, so I have to imagine there was a bit of a mistake somewhere in there. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Leclerc, the rider down, goes off the berm, and Holm has taken the lead. Leclerc's still trying to pick up the Rockstar Husqvarna as Tyler Lang comes into the fray. And Leclerc now back into second. That's perfect time for us to lead into a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at R Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. Use the code SYS20, that's SYS20 for 20% off your order there. Get yourself some delicious beef jerky from the folks over at R Jerky. Adam Holm leads on the atom.com number 2 machine after Leclerc just coughed up the race lead a moment ago. The rider down as Holm goes around him. Here is Leclerc back here, though, trying to recover from his mistake. So Leclerc on the number 1 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing machine sits in second. Tyler Lang in the Underground RC number 4 in third. Fourth, Tyron Tomich on the CV number 23 machine. Fifth is Matthias Janis on the Underground RC number 130. Sixth for Luke Magnetti on the BPC number 13. Seventh for Braden Castaneda on the Underground RC number 12. Eighth is Frank Jackson on the Team Nami number 49. Ninth for Caleb Hall, Underground RC number 45. And 10th, back here, Brandon Larson on the Stance 245. Here's 11th, Jacob Hubbard, Phil's KTM number 778. 12th for Neil Fitzpatrick, Proline Designs number 71. 13th is Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21. Whoa, trying to make a pass on Fitzpatrick, got a little wayward there. 14th, Roston Bear on the number 64, Phil's KTM. 15th is Jeremy Cohenauer on the number 15 MV Films effort. 16th for Aaron Rockefeller, the Underground RC machine goes down, the 65. So he was 16th. He's going to lose 1 position only, it looks like. And now Cohenauer goes down. So Carter goes to 16th, maybe 15th. 17th now Rockefeller. 18th for Brendan King, SYS Racing HP Racing machine. 18th for Jet Wisdom, the BPC number 99. 19th for Magnus Hastrup on the EliteConcept.com machine. And 20th is actually a pile of riders, but it looks like it's officially going to go to Chase Donovan on the Proline Designs number 73. It's a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at R Jerky. Back to the battle out front. Gonna start heating up, but Leclerc just went down, and Lang has gone by. So Leclerc down, Lang through. And that flips the script for these guys a little bit. Now the question is, can Lang run down Holm, or Will he be able to hold off Leclerc as well? We're coming up on just about 10 minutes and 2 laps still to go. What is going to happen at the front of the field in this one? What a bonus this is for Adam Holm, though. Get out front, lead some laps, try to win this Grand Prix. Be huge on his comeback tour a little bit. It's been pretty successful so far. It seemed like he was slowly getting back into the feel of things when he came back for the Outdoor Championship. Was able to click off a moto win in the Grand Prix scene a few rounds back. But now sets himself up pretty well here if he can win this first moto. Maybe, just maybe, go on and win the overall on the day, or at least challenge for it. Tyler Lang moving up to seconds, also big championship-wise as he battles with Leclerc. Here comes Tyron Tomic. Tomic closing up on Leclerc, now challenging the Frenchman, and it seems like Leclerc is actually kind of struggling to get back on pace after a few costly mistakes here, some crashes and other things that really distracted the Frenchman. Look at this, Tomic jumping up the inside, trying to hook this inside rut, but braking bumps just a bit too much for the Australian to deal with as Leclerc holds steady around the outside. Woo! Launching out. Gonna go up the inside here on Leclerc and just shut the door. Leclerc cuts back across to hold the line. Well, look at these two guys going at it. Tomic down straight in for the jugular. Leclerc read him like a book. And crosses line back over. A nice little dice between those two guys there. Leclerc carrying speed and momentum through the corners. Just trying to keep the rear end down and planted on the ground. Gets a little kick there coming into this corner. Has to go off the inside berm. Now gets back on the gas. He has got Jeremy Cohenauer, who's a lap down there behind him, trying to get the number on the other rider, but didn't quite get a look. Back to our race leader, Adam Holm, though, as he weaves through the riders. Got Braden Carter right behind him. Carter trying to potentially unlap himself, it looks like. Or maybe even push Adam Holm, not too sure. Go on board with the Floridian and take a look from his perspective on what he is seeing out there on the track here for a hot lap. Oh, and Holmes swaps and goes down. And that's going to be enough for Lang to take the lead. He had been clawing some time back all the while. And now the number 4 machine goes to the front. Holm will remount still in second. Got to be careful with lap traffic still in play here. Carter trying to mix it up a little bit. And Leclerc's still back here in third, but now Holm has to go back to the drawing board here. 6 minutes left to go in this race. And suddenly Tyler Lang is the man they are all chasing. Like Lang has been able to extend the gap even a little bit more now, so Holm, he has really got to figure some things out here and try to go back after him here in the latter stages of this race, or else Lang is going to take this first moto victory to the bank. Looks like Blakely just went down. Fitzpatrick going to go by him. Hubbard trying to jump over top as well. Blakely up the inside, going to lose another spot. It is so tough on this track to crash. It's probably worse to crash here than almost any other track. And that is because this is so momentum dependent. And this particular track is so fast. These guys are carrying a ton of speed in and out of these corners. We saw in the 250 class how riders are basically never going below third gear, and most of the time they're even in fifth gear on the straightaways. Now these 450 guys are carrying even more speed, more momentum, and the second you go from that speed to zero and have to somehow claw your way back up to that speed, boy, it's a doozy. Oh, Hubbard down, big off in the final turn there, so Fitzpatrick goes back by, as did Blakely. Here's Caleb Hall, he's pretty much by himself. Frank Jackson kind of in the same wavelength, and Castaneda as well. Janice is not too far off of Tomic right now, but definitely has his work cut out for him to catch the Australian. And then Magnetti pretty much by himself in fourth as well. Here's Leclerc third, Holm second, and Lang coming in to check in just past 27 minutes into this 30-minute plus two-lap race. Lang launching out, landing hard, but it's what he's got to do, pushing the pace out front, trying to not let Adam Holm close up anymore as Leclerc goes straight up to 12 o'clock there. Trying to maybe close up on Holm, but pretty far out at this point. Gonna need some crashing, it seems like. This guy again. I don't know why I don't have the power to ban him. I can only... I'm on mobile, so... winding us down on the late stages of this one here. MXGP Race 1 in Belgium. Tyler Lang just checked in over the finish line jump again, so 3 laps to go. Time will expire this time by. Oh, but he's down! He swaps into the first turn, and he's laid it down. Kind of a precarious spot. He's trying to get lined up in the rut and then tips back over on re-entry, so that's going to allow Holm to close basically right up on him here. And we've got a battle for the lead with 3 to go. Oh boy, this is going to get intense. Just as quickly as Holm got to him, it seems like Lang realized he's got to try to get away, but now he just made a little mistake, and Holm is closed right back up. So a little bit of a yo-yo effect there, but Holm now sensing the opportunity. Riders are trying to get out of the way. The 99 to Jet Wisdom does a nice job there. And these guys are only 11 seconds ahead of Leclerc, so if they get together, whew, this is going to become quite the dramatic finish in this one. Oh, Lang! Lang gets into Larson. Brandon Larson goes down and takes Lang with him. Lang is only going to lose about 8 seconds here, so it's a pretty quick fall-off crash, but Leclerc is suddenly knocking on the door. Now Larson, realizing he was unfortunately part of that situation, is trying to get out of the way as much as possible. It was a weird line that Lang took to go way outside into that corner, but to each their own, I suppose. I think he was maybe just trying to size up a couple different options down the stretch here in his battle with Adam Holm, but Holm has now retaken the lead. Lang back into second, and Leclerc coming up from third. Lap time check, 54.3 out of Leclerc, a 55.5 out of Holm. So Leclerc, the fastest rider of the 3 on the track last time by, but that's because an atrocious lap for Tyler Lang. 3 crashes, well, 2 actually, I should say, in the space of 1 lap. Oh, launching maybe a bit too far there before the mechanics area. That's going to cost him some more time. But Leclerc went down again. I didn't see what happened to the Frenchman, but he has now lost even more time. And suddenly Lang has some breathing room behind him. So as we are going to come to the white flag next time by, it kind of boils down to Lang versus Holm. But Holm, back in the driver's seat here, controls his own destiny. He pretty much just has to put a lap and a half of solid riding together, and this should be his race for the taking. But that's always easier said than done. This is a very challenging track. Could reach up and bite these guys at any moment. So there it is, white flag waving. Adam Holm trying to stamp this MXGP Race 1 victory here at Lommel. Tyler Lang still giving chase, but now he goes down. Front end tuck after the finish line jump. Leclerc is going to close up a little bit more now as Lang gets going, but he's now lost pretty much any hope of catching Holm and has to instead focus on maintaining the distance behind to Leclerc to at least pick up a couple points championship-wise on Leclerc. .8-second lead for Holm. Now just about 5 seconds back to Leclerc from Lang. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride there. Tyler Lang getting kicked around a little bit. And so far, it looks like he has been able to react to his situation and, at least for the time being, keep Leclerc back. Leclerc is certainly trying to put in one of his best laps of the entire race here on this last lap to close it down. But it's likely going to be too little too late. Meanwhile, 2 corners to go for this man up front. The fluctuation of leading, then coughing it up, and trailing Lang by a decent bit before finally Lang coughed it up big time late in this moto, but Holm was still right there to take advantage of it, and he's going to reap the benefits. Adam Holm is your winner in MXGP Race 1 here at Lommel. Tyler Lang in and out of the last corner, maintains his gap on Leclerc, crosses the line second. Leclerc on the last lap puts down a 54 flat, pulls it within 3 seconds there of Lang, but I don't think that'll matter on cuts. Here's Magnetti to the flag across in 4th. Matthias Janis looks like he will end up 5th in this one. Tyron Tomic 6th, Jacob Hubbard 7th, Frank Jackson 8th, Brady Castaneda in 9th, and Caleb Hall rounding out the top 10. There's Chase Blakely. He was 11th, first rider a lap down. Neil Fitzpatrick there in 12th, 13th for Brandon Larson. 14th was Braden Carter. 15th, Roston Bear. 16th, Aaron Rockefeller. 17th will be Brendan King. Great ride for him. And 18th will be Magnus Hastrup. He's the last rider on the 2-lap down mark. Or I should say 1 lap down. So the first rider 2 laps down was Jeffrey Bruns, and Jeremy Cohenauer ends up 20th in this one. Still got a couple riders to come through, but unofficially top 3 was Holm, Lang, Leclerc. We'll see what happens in a moment. All right, cuts are in. Let's take a look. And everything stayed the same. Adam Holm, your big winner here in MXGP race number 1. Let's go ahead and load to Allcrest to get a track reset. Get Moto 2 timer and everything ready to go. Head to our intermission screen. Back here in studio, Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action MX Simulator Grand Prix of Belgium. One more race still to go. It's MXGP Race 2 coming up, and we're going to get it loaded up right now. How's everybody doing? It seems like chat has stifled a little bit. A couple of you guys still here. I think we got, 65 live viewers. Good to see you guys. Hopefully you're hanging in there all right. And hopefully you're excited to get one more race off here and see what's going on. Nobody chatting right now. What's going on? Absolutely, Jeff Sparks. Go on your internet, go to YouTube, and sub to SYS. You can watch all the races. That's 100% accurate. We've had every single race, MX Simulator race, for the last 6 years, now going on 7 years basically. Every MX Sim Pro race has ended up on our YouTube channel. So dig through the archives, check out all the old ones. A lot of good races over the years. And then obviously we do a lot of original content here too. So if you sub to us, we have a lot of fun videos that we do. Hopefully getting ready to have some more come soon. Mats van Eekhout is watching all the way from Belgium. Love the vids. And it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. I don't... in Belgium, I know some of you guys speak French and some speak German and some Dutch, I think, right? So depending on where you are. Trying to think what happy is in German. I know it's Geburtstag for birthday in German. Can't think of the word happy. It's funny. But happy Geburtstag if you speak German. I don't know what it is in Dutch. All right, here we go. Moto 2 coming up. Let's get this Moto timer up. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one more race on the docket tonight. Adam Holm up the inside here with Leclerc, Magnetti, Tomic, and the rest ready to go racing. It's MXGP Race 2 here in Belgium. Like Hubbard on the 778 is going to get there first. He will check in with the Race Tech Whole Shot Award. It's Hubbard from Caleb Hall. Leclerc with a good start in third. That's dangerous for the rest of the field. Aaron Rockefeller here. Tyron Tomic. Moto 1 winner Adam Holm is also in the mix. He's in sixth. Leclerc up front, battling as Hubbard has already lost the lead. Oh, and Leclerc went down. It's a bit of a stack up, him and Tomic together. Holm also looks like he tipped over, but he gets up ahead of these guys still. That's going to negatively impact the defending champion. So Hubbard back to the lead. Caleb Hall momentarily got into the race lead, but drifts back to second. Now Hubbard going to deal with the pressure as Hall charges to the outside through the wave section. So in the early runnings, it is Hubbard from Hall. Chase Blakely comes through third. Fitzpatrick fourth. Rockefeller fifth. Carter sixth. Holmes seventh. Leclerc eighth. Austin Bear ninth, and Tyler Lang rounds out the top 10. 30 minutes plus 2 laps on the docket here. This is going to be a good one to see what unfolds after Holm picked up the win in the first moto. Now he's challenging Leclerc back here. They've got some riders to work through to try to get to the front of this one as Leclerc lays it down in the last turn, and Holm slides on by. Good to see you guys still are alive here in chat. Got, obviously, Mats van Eekhout. It's his birthday in Belgium. Jeff Sparks is still here. Rodrigo Borges from NorCal. Decal Works is greetings from South Africa. And First Turn Films, a.k.a. KR Money, also hanging out, doing some laps on Ironman with his teammate. Good to see you guys. Cade Matherly, I didn't know celebrities stopped by on the stream as well, but good to see him showing up and cheering on his boy Hubbard. As Adam Holm jumps to the outside of Austin Bear, he is going to make that pass stick. Fitzpatrick, Rockefeller, Braden Carter, Chase Blakely, Caleb Hall, Jacob Hubbard, all up the road here. We got a Goomba in chat. Oh, Hubbard almost through the front door in the wave section. Had the front of the bike drop in a little bit there, but just able to clip the top and continue going on. Meanwhile, battle for P2 is a Bruin. Chase Blakely, Caleb Hall going at it. they carry their momentum around the outside and launch out to flat here. And Blakely swings it through the corner. Blakely scrubbing down the finish line, jump. Now stretching it out on Hall a little bit and trying to close up on Hubbard. So we got a whole different group of guys battling out front early in this one. Going to be interesting as the top three in the first moto start slicing their way in to see what happens. Blakely, Hall, here is Holm and Lang. They're now 4th and 5th respectively. Oh, look at that move from Lang. Doesn't quite get the pass done yet, but how about getting to the inside of that corner? Now he might get the pass done, or he gets into the side of Holm and they both almost lay it over. Fitzpatrick is going to split them now. Or will Holm get the 71 machine back right away here? Let's see. Oh, Holm into the back of Fitzpatrick goes down. 64 of Bear goes by. There goes Magnetti. And there is Braden Carter also going through, and that the 65 of Rockefeller going by as well. So, wow. What happened to Leclerc? He is not in the mix. Meanwhile, going the other way, battling for second. Blakely and Hall still going at it. Oh, Caleb Hall getting a little wayward in the ruts right there, coming into the corner. And Tyler Lang is closing up on these guys in a hurry. 57-4 last time by. Now it goes up to 3rd. Who did he pass? Oh, his teammate Caleb Hall was off the side of the track. So Hubbard continues to lead. Up ahead of the road of Lang here in 2nd is Blakely, and Lang now goes down out of 3rd. So Tyler Lang drops it from 3rd, goes back to 5th as Magnetti goes by, brings Caleb Hall with him. Braden Carter is just in the background of those guys. And Leclerc down in 11th right now, so it's been a bit of a struggle for the defending champ. Where is Adam Holm gone to is the question, though. He's actually behind Leclerc. Wow, he's down in 16th is your Moto 1 winner. So Lang trying to regroup after that fall. Now has closed back up on Luke Magnetti a little bit here. And teammate Caleb Hall throwing it into the corner there. Front end kind of twitching on entry. There's a battle for, I believe, 3rd or maybe 4th coming up right here between Lang and Magnetti. Lang to the outside and easily done in the end. Tyler Lang is on a mission. Here is Blakely and then Hubbard. So Hubbard is still leading this race. 7.5 minutes have come and gone. And looking pretty smooth out front. Let's get a lap time check as Hubbard checks in out front. 55.9 his best. He does a 56.7 this time by. 55.7 was Blakely's best. He does a 57.9, so he's actually gone a bit slower than what Hubbard was able to lay down. Magnetti now coming through in 3rd, so Lang dropped it again. 56 dead for Magnetti. Carter now up to 4th, puts in his best lap of the race at a 54.5. 59.2 for Caleb Hall, but he just tucked the front end. A 54.9 was Lang's best at a 2:10.1 last time by, so came unglued a little bit. Hall trying to get the ship righted as riders come into the fray. Doesn't want to jump in front of someone and cause them to go down. Now has that Janice, I think, that went down in front of him. So Caleb Hall having all kinds of fits in this corner here. Goes back to 12th. Still ahead of Janice, Cohenauer, Larson, Jackson, Arnbrister, Rakowski, Bruns, and Wisdom inside of the points paying position currently. Adam Holm to the outside of Austin Bear, and a very sneaky little move right there to get around him, and then Bear goes down in that very next corner, and now Leclerc was down coming out of the mechanics area. So Leclerc making another mistake. That's going to allow Hall into the picture. Hall gets into Leclerc. He goes down with him. My, oh my, coming unglued a bit here for the number one. And we still have so much of this race yet to go. Not even yet 10 minutes have gone, and Leclerc has found himself in some troubles. Got to get around Larson, Frank Jackson, Austin Bear, a bit of a train right here. Matthias Janis, Adam Holm, Neil Fitzpatrick. Then you got Aaron Rockefeller, Tyron Tomic, Tyler Lang up ahead, Braden Carter just getting around. That was Hubbard, so Blakely has gone to the front. Chase Blakely has assumed the race lead at the 1/3 mark of MXGP Race 2. And what a turn of events it is, with Hubbard going out of the lead, and it puts a BPC Yamaha duo out front. Blakely and Magnetti 1 and 2. Carter now moves his way into 3rd, with Hubbard drifting back to 4th, and then Lang coming through behind that. So Hubbard 55.5 last time by, but then crashed right after the finish line jump. That's what cost him the race lead. Now he's going to try to latch on to Carter, and that is Blakely down. Blakely has coughed up the race lead. Luke Magnetti goes to the front, and he's not too far ahead of this battle here. So more musical chairs being played with our leaders. Oh, and now Carter goes down out of 2nd. Carter's off the bike. That was, I think, Lang going by. There's Blakely. And now Carter remounts in 5th. Blakely, Lang get by for 4th and 3rd. Hubbard is still 2nd, but Magnetti has assumed the race lead. Yeah, for those of you guys just joining us, this is a recast of Round 8. I was on vacation when the Grand Prix of Belgium happened, so this is actually from 2 weeks ago. And so re-streaming this, and then I got sick last week, so did not get a chance to stream Round 9, which is the Grand Prix of Sweden, which will come later this evening. Thinking in about 2 hours from now, we'll go live for the Grand Prix of Sweden. And then the recast of Budds Creek, which I also had to miss last week after being sick, will be tomorrow. Probably at about 2 p.m. Pacific. I might have to move it up a little bit. And then we'll be back on our normal cast schedule with Round 10 of the Nationals from Ironman. And obviously you saw Round 10 of the Grand Prix scene from Germany. So after this week, there's only 2 rounds left to go in each series, both the GPs and the Nationals. And there will be these coming 2 weeks after this one. And we'll have some champions decided in both. So right now we are currently just rehashing what happened 2 weeks ago at the Grand Prix of Belgium, in which Adam Holm has won the first moto of the MXGP class. Tyler Lang was 2nd, Leclerc 3rd, but now Luke Magnetti is leading the race here. MXGP Race 2, here comes Lang. He's going to get around Hubbard for 2nd. So Tyler Lang, who was 2nd in the first moto, now sits 2nd in this one as well. Gained points on Leclerc in the first one, gaining more points on Leclerc here in the second one, and also doing it with a shot at winning the overall as well. Yeah, I'm actually watching the demos. So these are the demos that were sent to me from Jeremy Cohenauer, which he gets the demos of the races and sends them over to me. So if I wanted to, I could rewind, I could go forward, I could do whatever I want with what I'm watching right now. I can also switch to whoever I want to. I'm not glued to watching one rider. It's literally like I'm watching the race live, but I'm just watching a demo of it. They are playing on controllers. This game is nearly impossible on a keyboard. I think the last person to make a main race, either motocross or supercross, on a keyboard was 2013, when Warrior, aka Chad Estabrooks, made an outdoor national, I believe. In 2013 it was. Ever since then, it's been controller life. Some of these guys... myself, I like to use an Xbox 360 controller just because I learned to play it on an Xbox 360 controller way back when. So I'm used to it. Some use Xbox One, some use Xbox Series X, some use PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. Some people use joysticks. But everybody is using a controller to play in this series. All right. 15 minutes have gone, 15 minutes still to go. I'll give you guys a top 20 rundown in this one, brought to you by our Jerky. As Luke Magnetti almost runs into the back of Chase Donovan right there. Donovan moves aside and Magnetti checks in out front. The BPC Yamaha rider leads from Tyler Lang on the number 4, Underground RC Cowie in second. Third is Jacob Hubbard, the 778 Phils KTM. Fourth, Chase Blakely on the BPC Yamaha number 21. It's fifth for Braden Carter, riding the number 57 Phil's outfit today, but he's actually number 19. Sixth here is Tyron Thomas on the number 23 CV Racing Machine. Seventh for Adam Holm on the number 2 atom.com outfit. Eighth for Matthias Janis, Underground RC 130. Ninth for Neil Fitzpatrick on the 71 Proline Designs effort. And 10th for Frank Jackson on the Team Nami number 49. 11th is Aaron Rockefeller on the Underground RC number 65. 12th for Caleb Hall, his teammate, on the number 45. 13th, defending champion Alexis Leclerc on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna number 1. Back here in P13. 14 for Jeremy Cohenauer, number 15 MV Films ride. 15th for Jeffrey Bruns, the 333 machine on the atom.com Cowie. Moving around him into 15th is Ashton Rakowski on the BC Racing number 924. Bruns back to 16th. 17th for Brandon Larson, 245 stance effort. 18th for Austin Bear on the Phil's KTM number 64. 19th for Bobby Big Lions on the Rhino Power 144. And 20th is Braden Castaneda, Underground RC, number 12. That's a top 20 rundown brought to you by our Jerky. Let's head back to this lead battle because it is on. Magnetti versus Lang at the front. Lang trying to win this overall by going 2-1. He's going 2-2 right now. He's got the overall locked up anyway, but you'd like an extra 3 points in his championship favor. Oh, Lang crossing over. Oh, landed almost perpendicular to the racetrack. Nice job to corral it together, but not able to quite make the pass just yet on Magnetti. Switches his lineup, and Magnetti blows the corner. So many riders have made that same mistake there all day long. Lang goes to the front, and here comes Carter. Not going to get there just yet. Carter closing up, but still back here in third. So that moves Lang to the front, and the pressure now on Adam Holm a little bit here. Not too far off the race leader, but with Lang leading, he needs to win this race to win the overall. First up on his list here would be the CV racing effort of Tyron Tomic. like it's actually moved to chase Blakely. So Tomic made the pass on Blakely. Now Blakely dealing with the pressure here from Adam Holm. Oh, Holm, nose heavy, sideways, good save. Gonna try to use this inside rut to make the pass on Blakely. Blakely charging around the outside at least. Gonna try to fight back and will do so. Good little fight between these two. Our leader is down. Our leader has gone down. Tyler Lang is laying sideways in the track as Luke Magnetti comes into the picture and retakes the lead. And that will only help Adam Holm, who will suddenly be much closer to Lang. And now Magnetti goes down. So Lang back to the front. Carter is going to move into second. Tomic goes to third. And here comes Blakely. He just went down, though, so Holm moves up to fifth and can suddenly see Magnetti, who is just in the lead of the race. And this thing has suddenly tightened up quite a bit. Whoa, Holm went down, pirouetted. Nice job to not actually fall off the bike, but lost a lot of ground in that exchange. Coming back onto the start straight here. Holm charging into the first corner. So it's still Magnetti, Tomic, and Carter all giving chase to Tyler Lang out front. And Carter, dealing with some lap traffic, has allowed Tomic to close right up onto his tail feathers here. Carter right there on the 57 bike, the number 19 on his jersey. Tomic on the number 23 machine, trying to pull up alongside. Oof. Pushes wide in the corner, though, so loses a little bit of ground. Oh, and sideways Carter gets. Tomic plows through him and continues on. So Magnetti now falls back in behind these guys as Lang stretches his gap out front. Carter gets up still ahead of Holm, who, remember, lost some of that ground in that little mistake before the finish line jump a lap ago. So coming down to the stretch run of this one, we got 8.5 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. Tyler Lang continues to be your race leader ahead of the Australian Tyron Tomic in second. Not too far back, but definitely not close either. Luke Magnetti in third on the BPC Yamaha. Braden Carter is in fourth. Then Adam Holm crosses the line in fifth. So really not too much in it between our front group, with Carter now trying to close back up on Magnetti here for third. Just listen to how Carter works that bike too, trying to get the power back to the ground, push the limits. Rider down there on the track moves aside. Magnetti rear end kicks out of the rut. Carter's going to pull alongside. Now it's a drag race down the straightaway. Magnetti is trying to remain alongside, but I think Carter might have this one sealed off. Magnetti's going to try to low line charge this outside, and he is actually going to get the pass completed back. So Carter, a little mistake on corner entry there, forced his hand, I think, and Magnetti was able to slide back through. Carter coming down to the finish line jump now, still trailing Magnetti. Magnetti has now got his sights set on Tomic, and Lang is not too far up the road from these guys. So he's not quite getting away as much as he probably would hope. 3.6 seconds. Wow, Tomic put down a 151.9 last time by. He is on a mission right now and just gained... Oh, that was Lang down. Lang down out of the lead. Tomic goes to the front. Moving into second, there goes Magnetti. Third now goes to Carter. And suddenly Adam Holmes senses an opportunity to win this Grand Prix. Man, that is unfortunate there for Lang, but it seemed like it was almost inevitable. He was making a lot of mistakes. Leclerc's still down in 11th. Kind of a bit of a shock there as Carter finally bursts through on Magnetti. A mistake for the 13 allows Carter to get by. But how about it for Tyron Tomic leading this race and trying to become yet another different winner in this MXGP class this year. Oh, but he's down! Tomic is down. Carter has to miss the inside line to avoid him. There goes Lang as well. And Holm is suddenly right in the fray. And he's got Castaneda behind him, but I think Castaneda's a lap down. But the top 5 are separated by no more than 5 seconds or so. Let's see what the official time is on live timing and scoring. 6.6 back to Adam Holm in 5th, and they are way ahead of the rest of the field as Carter goes down with the lead. Magnetti goes by. There goes Lang, and there goes Tomic, and Holm also slides through. And once again, the race has been flipped upside down. Magnetti to the front, Lang giving chase, and you still got Holm. They're trying to weave through some lap traffic. Holm now up to 4th. Tomic right in the fray as well. But it switches back into the favor, at least for the time being, of Tyler Lang. 2-2 scores beats a 1-4. Magnetti is giving it everything he can give, though, to try to hold on to this position with the pressure mounting from behind. Tyler Lang is pushing the pace at the front of the field, and he might have a spot to make a pass for the lead up the inside. Magnetti fights back, but it's going to be a pass completed. Tyler Lang to the front here in Belgium with under 4 minutes and 2 laps to go. So now the response needs to come as Magnetti tries to push up on him. But Tyron Tomic is also here to play, coming from 3rd. Aside from that crash, he has been one of the, if not the fastest riders on the track for the last 4 or 5 laps at this point. Oh, Jeffrey Bruns coming across. Rider down. It's a lap rider, though, and a mistake, I think, for Lang has allowed Magnetti back into the fray. That is not Lang going wide right there, but that's one of his teammates that was trying to let Lang go. And now Lang has made a couple of mistakes, and Magnetti is right there. Tomic also coming into the picture on occasion. And this thing is going to come down to the very end of this one. 27 minutes and some change have gone by. And we still have, what, 4 laps to go coming across this time by. And this is anybody's race at the front. Magnetti wants this race victory. Adam Holm is still back there looking to maybe go 1-1 on the day. You've got Tyron Tomic trying to play spoiler. Boy, this could get very entertaining in a hurry. It's already pretty entertaining. It might even get more so. Oh, look at that inside line for Magnetti. It almost worked, but then it cost him the spot as he swaps down. And Tomic goes back through into 2nd place, and he is flying 54.8, 55.1. Oh, but Tomic down. Coming out of the U-turn out to the mechanics area, the Australian hits the deck, and Adam Holm has moved back into 2nd place. So Lang leads 8.3 seconds ahead of Holm, and they are now splitting the moto wins. Holm is going to go 1-2. Lang is going 2-1 as it runs. And an absolute freight train of riders coming down the back straightaway right now with Carter and Magnetti almost side by side. Magnetti wheelies himself off the side of the track. Leclerc up to 8th. He can maybe only hope to go to 6th though on Jackson, as P5 Magnetti right behind Carter as they go through the wave section. Holm is still not out of the water either, dealing with pressure from behind. Tyron Tomic trying to close the gap down. So it's not a guaranteed second by any stretch of the imagination. And these guys are just going to miss the clock. There's about 40 seconds left on the clock as Tyler Lang checks in out front. So Tyler Lang on to lap 16 of what will be an 18-lap affair. So 3 laps still to go. Holm and Tomic right here still second and third. Is that Magnetti that just went down? It was right before the finish line jump. Magnetti laid it down. Going to be inconsequential for his 5th position. He's going to be still pretty far ahead in that area, but now 12 seconds back of is that Carter? Yes, ahead of him in 4th. And Frank Jackson back here still has a load of work to do. Here's Leclerc coming from 8th though, catching up to Blakely. Blakely would be for 7th if Leclerc can get around the Pacific Northwest native. Oh, jumps over top of him, and Blakely, no response. Nothing you can do there. That was just power against power, and Leclerc had a bit more in the tank. Blakely lays it down in the very next corner, but he will remount. Still there in 8th as Leclerc goes to 7th. So now the pressure then lays on Tyler Lang here, coming up to 2 to go this time by. He has to be pretty flawless out front. He can make a couple mistakes here and there, but it's 6.8 seconds back. Even a tip over still is not out of the question for Holm to maybe take advantage and get to Lang's rear tire at least. And Holm has been pushing the pace these last few laps. 57 flat last time by. Lang was a little bit better, but he puts down a 53.8. Curious to see what Holm puts down this time through. It's a 51.6. Adam Holm runs his best lap of the race. And is it the fast lap of the race? No, Carter, a 50.8 has it, but that was one of the best laps of the race right there for Holm, and he has now got it under 6 seconds. Lang has got to be pretty solid here for these last 2 laps, or Adam Holm is a-coming to get him. Oh, Holm! Oh, I thought he was going to save it, but he's down on the backside of the table. Here comes Carter to take over second, and Tomic also yard sales in the same spot. So Carter has been promoted up to second, and this is now Lang's race to lose, quite easily so at least. I think could even have a fall-off crash and still maintain the lead. Adam Holm, meanwhile, would really like to get back through and into second place. Podium is still going to happen with a 1-3, but I'm sure he would like a little more if he could get it. Oh, Blakely is back through on Leclerc for 7th. So Leclerc's woes continue. Meanwhile, out front, Tyler Lang is about to check in onto the 18th lap and the final lap of the race here at the MX Simulator Grand Prix of Belgium, the 8th round of 12. The recasted broadcast here from Belgium. This was a race that happened 2 weeks ago. We're going to have a race that happened a week ago coming up a little bit later on this evening. It's either going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific or 7:20 p.m. Pacific. Keep an eye on the listings as they show up on YouTube. But I'll let you guys know pretty quickly after this broadcast is over what the plan is. Either way, we'll still be having another 2.5 to 3 hour broadcast coming at you later this evening. So please be sure to tune in later and cheer on your favorite riders, as we already know what happened at the MX Simulator Grand Prix of Sweden last week, but it's still fun to rehash it and see what happened in terms of a full race distance sense. Results on paper don't always tell the full story, as you know. What it does tell us, though, at the 8th round here is that Tyler Lang, pretty darn good at recovery. Didn't quite get the good starts in either moto. Rode his way into second in the first one. Now rode his way into the lead here in the second one. I should say rode his way into second in the first one, and rode his way into the lead into the second one. And that, my friends, is going to return a 2-1 result on the day, which will be good enough for the overall victory for Tyler Lang as he looks to claw some points back on Leclerc as the championship leader. And getting into the nitty-gritty of this championship with 8 rounds complete. So Lang certainly is going to benefit a lot from this result here today, especially with Leclerc struggling back down in P7. He's gotten back around Blakely, but it looks like that's where he will stay. Meanwhile, up front, Tyler Lang has done it here in Belgium. The 2021 Grand Prix of Belgium at Lommel goes to Tyler Lang. Oh, Carter lays it sideways in the last turn. Adam Holm is going to have a drive. It's a drag race to the flag. Who is going to get it? It looks like Carter will just hold on. From Holm, Tomic will end up in 4th in this one, and 5th is going to be Luke Magnetti, easily so. So there's Magnetti crossing the line, P5. Frank Jackson, he's in 6th right here, but Leclerc is charging up from 7th. Let's go on board with Leclerc. See if he can close this gap down to maybe steal 6th away right at the end. Ryder down on the face, so Leclerc has to kind of cross over a little bit. Corners are running out. 6 corners to go now, 5. It's under 3 seconds, but he's got to get it closer to even have a shot, and it's not going to work out in his favor, it seems like. So, coming down to the flag. Ahead of him, oh, it is going to work out. Jackson crashes in the last corner. Wow, and a double fall off at that as well. So Leclerc will indeed end up 6th in this one, catches a break at the flag. And now Jackson will end up crossing the line 7th. Blakely will get 8th. Neil Fitzpatrick all by himself down here in 9th. He is the last rider on the lead lap. Jacob Hubbard was the first rider lap down. He ends up 10th in this one. 11th, Aaron Rockefeller. 12th for Caleb Hall. 13th, Castaneda. 14th, Brandon Larson. 15th for Jeffrey Bruns. 16th for Austin Bear. 17th for Ashton Rakowski. 18th for Brendan King. 19th for Jeremy Konauer. And 20th for Jacob Arnbrister. Picking up the final points paying position there. So we wait for old Neil Fitzpatrick to cross and give us those cuts. Here it is over the line. Let's go back to 20th and see. Now we still got one more rider to roll the finish line. And another rider, I guess, to be kicked. Or did he miss the finish line? Who is it? It is Magnus Hastrup. Doesn't realize he missed the finish line, so he's probably going to get booted. There we go. Cuts should be coming in now. Or are they? We're waiting for Magnus Hastrup. He's still here. Is he going to get the boot? Anything? Anything at all? Are they going to kick him? Magnus Hastrup? How long is this demo going to go before they kick him? And that's the end of it. So we will not know cuts, unfortunately. But unofficially, it does seem as though Tyler Lang has won the overall here today. 2-1 scores. That is going to be enough to get it done. And that is going to be enough for us to send you guys on your way. Again, MXSGP of Sweden coming up here in a little bit. I'll let you guys know. Again, the broadcast schedule here, we have just finished up the Belgian Grand Prix. Sweden will either be in 45 minutes or in about an hour and, well, about 2 hours from now, essentially. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll post up the broadcast and let you guys know when it's coming. But again, thank you guys for tuning in to round 8 of the recasted Belgian Grand Prix from 2 weeks ago. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. As always, appreciate you guys liking, commenting, and subscribing. And a big shout out to rjerky, atom.com, and racefactorgaming.com for helping put this on. We'll see you guys a little bit later on tonight for the MX Simulator Grand Prix of Sweden.